Welcome to Speak Peak English. Today we are going to practice listening and speaking skills with the story Lost in Translation. Listen carefully. Lost in Translation. Tom and Anna were going on their first vacation abroad. They were traveling to Spain, but there was one small problem. Neither of them spoke Spanish. "Don't worry," said Tom confidently. "I downloaded a translation app on my phone. We'll be fine." When they arrived in Madrid, everything seemed to go smoothly. At the airport, Tom used his app to ask for directions. The app said, "¿Dónde está el baño?" which means "where is the bathroom?" But when they got to their hotel, things started to go wrong. At the front desk, the receptionist smiled and said something in Spanish. Tom quickly opened his translation app and typed, "We have a reservation." The app responded, and Tom proudly repeated the words, "Tengo una resaca." The receptionist looked confused. She asked again, this time slower, and Tom repeated louder, "Tengo una resaca." Anna pulled out her phone and looked up the phrase. She burst out laughing. "Tom, you just told her you have a hangover." Embarrassed, Tom quickly corrected himself, and they finally got their room keys. Once in their hotel room, they both laughed about the mix-up. "Well, at least we didn't ask for a hangover in a restaurant," Anna joked. The next day, they went sightseeing around the city. At lunchtime, they stopped at a little cafe. Tom decided to use the app again. He wanted to ask the waiter if the food was spicy. He typed in the question and said out loud, "Es picante." The waiter smiled and nodded. "Sí, un poco." Tom felt proud that he had asked the right question. When the food arrived, Tom took a bite and his face turned bright red. "It's really spicy," he gasped, reaching for his water. "I think a little means something different here." After lunch, they went to the famous Prado Museum. While walking through the museum, Tom wanted to know if they could take pictures inside. This time, he decided to ask someone without using the app. He approached a security guard and confidently said, "Photo, por favor." The security guard looked serious and shook his head. "No," he said. Tom nodded, understanding that photos weren't allowed. He walked back to Anna and said, "No pictures inside." Just as he said that, Anna burst out laughing. "Tom, look behind you." Tom turned around to see a giant sign that said in English, "No photography allowed." Tom sighed. Maybe I should have just read the signs instead of trying to speak Spanish. For the rest of the trip, Tom and Anna had a great time but laughed every time they used the translation app. As they were getting ready to leave, Anna said, "Next time we travel, maybe we should learn some of the language before we go." Tom grinned. "Or we'll just bring a dictionary and lots of water for the spicy food." Now, let's practice English listening and speaking skills with a repeat after me session from the story Lost in Translation. Are you ready? Let's begin. Lost in Translation. Tom and Anna were going on their first vacation abroad. They were traveling to Spain, but there was one small problem. Neither of them spoke Spanish. "Don't worry," said Tom confidently. "I downloaded a translation app on my phone. We'll be fine." When they arrived in Madrid, everything seemed to go smoothly. At the airport, Tom used his app to ask for directions. The app said, "¿Dónde está el baño?" which means "where is the bathroom?" But when they got to their hotel, things started to go wrong. At the front desk, the receptionist smiled and said something in Spanish. Tom quickly opened his translation app and typed, "We have a reservation." The app responded, and Tom proudly repeated the words, "Tengo una resaca." The receptionist looked confused. She asked again, this time slower, and Tom repeated louder, "Tengo una resaca." Anna pulled out her phone and looked up the phrase. She burst out laughing. "Tom, you just told her you have a hangover." Embarrassed, Tom quickly corrected himself, and they finally got their room keys. Once in their hotel room, they both laughed about the mix-up. "Well, at least we didn't ask for a hangover in a restaurant," Anna joked. The next day, they went sightseeing around the city. At lunchtime, they stopped at a little cafe. Tom decided to use the app again. He wanted to ask the waiter if the food was spicy. He typed in the question and said out loud, "Es picante." The waiter smiled and nodded, "Sí, un poco." Tom felt proud that he had asked the right question. When the food arrived, Tom took a bite and his face turned bright red. "It's really spicy," he gasped, reaching for his water. "I think a little means something different here." After lunch, they went to the famous Prado Museum. While walking through the museum, Tom wanted to know if they could take pictures inside. This time, he decided to ask someone without using the app. He approached a security guard and confidently said, "Photo, por favor." The security guard looked serious and shook his head. "No," he said. Tom nodded, understanding that photos weren't allowed. He walked back to Anna and said, "No pictures inside." Just as he said that, Anna burst out laughing. "Tom, look behind you." Tom turned around to see a giant sign that said in English, "No photography allowed." Tom sighed. "Maybe I should have just read the signs instead of trying to speak Spanish." For the rest of the trip, Tom and Anna had a great time but laughed every time they used the translation app. As they were getting ready to leave, Anna said, "Next time we travel, maybe we should learn some of the language before we go." Tom grinned. "Or we'll just bring a dictionary and lots of water for the spicy food." Great job today. You've done amazing practicing your English listening and speaking skills with the story Lost in Translation. Keep practicing every day, and you'll continue to improve. Don't forget to come back to Speak Peak English for more fun lessons. See you next time.